Hello and welcome to another episode of the Played on Repeat Top 10 Fridays. On this one, I'm going to be covering Kiss's top 10 songs on Spotify. Kiss is an American rock band formed in New York City in 1973 by Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Ace Frehley, and Peter Criss. The band is known for their face paint and stage outfits. The group rose to prominence in the 70s with their shock rock style live performances featuring fire breathing, blood spitting, and smoking guitars. The band went through quite a few lineup changes throughout the years, with Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley being the only two constant members throughout the history of the band. With their makeup and costumes, the band members took on comic book like characters, the Star Child being Stanley, the Demon being Gene Simmons, the Spaceman being Ace Frehley, and the Catman being Peter Criss. Kiss is regarded as one of the most influential rock bands, as well as one of the best-selling bands of all time. They claim to have sold over 75 million albums worldwide. This has also earned 30 gold albums, that being the most of any band from the United States. The band was inducted into the Hall of Fame, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, in 2014. With that being said, let's get into it. Song 1. I Was Made for Loving You. This song was released in 1979 as the lead single for the band's seventh album, Dynasty. The song became a smash hit on the pop singles chart and was certified gold in the US and went platinum in several other countries. It currently has 1.2 billion streams on Spotify. That's an insane number to even think about. Just think about if everybody had listened to that song once. Clearly, that's not how it worked. But if they listened to it once, that is 1/8 of the population of the earth has streamed this song on Spotify. That is ridiculous. The song starts with a disco bass line and guitar part. Overall, it's just a disco song through and through. That's what it is. I do very much enjoy the bass line in the song. The chorus is also ridiculously catchy. Paul goes into his head voice when he's singing in a part of the song. It's almost hard to believe that it's a man singing that part. Oh, and I guess that's one thing I do need to mention with Kiss. They don't necessarily have a lead singer. Everybody in the band kind of takes songs, which is a dynamic with a band that I really enjoy. I really like having a band with multiple members that can sing. It's kind of akin to the Beatles or something like that, but it's something I really like. The song goes out on a chorus and it kind of just fades out as Stanley continues to sing. Song 2, Rock and Roll All Night. This song is the first single from the band's third studio album, Dressed to Kill. This is kind of in a lot of ways Kiss's signature song. It served as the group's closing number in almost every concert since 1976. I personally first heard the song in Guitar Hero 3, or at least that's the first memory I have of the song. The song has 566 million streams on Spotify. It opens with a simple drum part and a guitar riff. Soon Gene Simmons starts singing. I personally think that I prefer Gene's songs, like songs that Gene takes the lead singing part. I think that he is my favorite of the singers for the band. The whole band joins and sings the chorus together in this song. The song has a very simple but once again super catchy song structure that makes for an amazing live song, and I understand why they closed almost every show with this one. There isn't anything necessarily flashy, but it's just overall good. This is another song that fades out as they sing the chorus. Song 3, Detroit Rock City. This song was released on the band's 1976 album, Destroyer. This song was originally meant to just be a tribute to the city of Detroit because the city welcomed the band in and made them headliners before anybody else in the country would do it. That being said, the song kind of took a left turn when someone who was on their way to a Kiss show, I believe in Charlotte, North Carolina, lost their life in a car crash. So there's a juxtaposition in the song where they're singing about how good Detroit is, but at the same time, they're actually talking about somebody not ever making it to a show. The song currently has 286 million streams on Spotify. And the song starts with a guitar riff from Stanley and some drums. This is another Paul song, singing-wise. The bass in this song is also awesome. The little fills that Gene gets in are great. This is my favorite version of the band, the more kind of heavier rock version. I think that's kind of why I like Gene's songs in particular. He kind of always took the more rock songs. This is not an example of a Gene song, obviously, but he typically did do the more heavy songs. I do like the more disco esque stuff and the more ballady stuff as well from the band, but it just cannot beat stuff like Detroit Rock City, like all of the other stuff that are heavier. I would say um, it's the first song of the list so far to feature a solo. It's a very, very simple solo, just a couple of notes, but it fits the song perfectly and it's exactly what the song needed. This song goes out on kind of just a held big note from the guitar. Song 4, Heaven's on Fire. This song is the first single from the 1984 album Animalize. This song reached as high as number 11 on the Billboard Hot Mainstream Rock chart, as well as number 49 on the Billboard Hot 100. This song is one of few from the band's non-makeup era to be played live after the band returned to the makeup. This song currently has over 202 million streams on Spotify. The song opens with what was actually a vocal warm up for Paul Stanley that was accidentally recorded, but then later added to the song. After the vocal warm up part, we get into a simple guitar riff and drum beat. Then Stanley starts his vocal lines. This is another one with a catchy chorus that will get stuck in your head. It seems like Kiss are the kings of that. This one has a strong, memorable riff that drives the song, guitar instrumentally wise, and it has a really good vocal performance from Stanley as well. The song ends on another fade out as Stanley sings the chorus. Song 5, Lick It Up. Lick It Up comes from the band's 1983 album of the same name. It's been a staple of the band's live performances due to its popularity with the fans. The band has played it over 1,500 times, making it one of the band's top 10 most played songs. The music video for this song was the first time the band was seen with no makeup. It currently has 114 million streams on Spotify. The song starts with a simple chugging riff and a simple beat. Stanley's vocals are once again good in this one. The underlying instrumental parts stay very simple throughout the song, but they are also effective, and the song comes together really well. It's another really catchy anthemy song from the band. Once again, the band fades out on the chorus, which seems to be just the way that they like to end songs more times than not. Song 6, Love Gun. Love Gun comes off their 1977 album of the same name. Paul Stanley claimed in multiple interviews that this is one of his favorite Kiss songs, calling it one of the 5 signature essential Kiss songs. Interestingly enough, Stanley actually plays bass on this song as well as his usual duties of rhythm guitar and singing. Love Gun was played on every Kiss tour after its release and has made numerous appearances on live albums. It currently has over 86 million streams on Spotify. The song opens quick with a guitar riff before the rest of the band comes in. It's really interesting also that I never knew that Paul played the bass in this song, but with that being said, it's really evident, like you can tell that the style of play in the bass in this song is very different from what Gene Simmons normally does. That being said, it's not bad in any way. It still has some very good bass parts, but it's very different from what Gene would have done. That being said, I do agree with Paul in that this is probably one of my favorite songs from the band. We're also learning from this list with how many Paul songs are included in this top 10. I'm probably in the minority with my opinion of Gene being my favorite singer because we've only had one Gene song to this point. This song fades out as the guitar lead part is playing and Stanley is once again singing the chorus. Song 7, Forever. This song is a power ballad from the 1989 album Hot in the Shade. This song was co-written by Paul Stanley and Michael Bolton. Forever peaked at number 8 on the Billboard Hot 100 chart, making it the first song for the band to reach top 40 in the U.S. since I Was Made for Loving You in 1979. It has over 83 million streams on Spotify. The song begins with Stanley singing over an acoustic guitar intro with the rest of the band joining for the first chorus. This song is a textbook definition of a power ballad, one of the best examples of one. The Michael Bolton influence is very, very evident in the song. The one thing I did want from the song, but it didn't give me, was a solo. Um, this one once again ends on a fade out. Song 8, Strutter. This song was the third and final single from the band's self titled debut album. The song originally was an absolute flop as far as charting goes. It didn't make it to the charts, but it's one of the band's live staples. Strutter is one of the few Kiss songs to be written by Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley together. The lyrics are based on the well dressed vixens the band saw on the streets of New York. The song currently has 98 million streams on Spotify. This song opens with a drum fill and guitar riff. Paul starts singing soon after. The song has a simple and once again very catchy chorus. This once again is another very strong vocal performance from Stanley. This is another rare example of a song with a solo on the list. It's another good one. The band actually doesn't fade out on this one, believe it or not. The instruments all hit one big chord and the song is over. Song 9, Crazy Crazy Nights. This song comes from Kiss's 1987 album, Crazy Nights. This song peaked at number 65 on the Billboard Hot 100 here in the US. It was, however, more popular in the UK, proving to be the band's first top 10 single in the UK. It has over 92 million streams on Spotify. This song starts with a big woo from Stanley, kind of like Ric Flair-esque woo, and then the rhythm guitar and drums come in. This one feels different from the rest that we've covered to this point. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's the way it's mixed or what, but it feels like super, super polished and like produced and smooth. This is one of the rare instances of a Kiss chorus not really being catchy, in my opinion. The song does, however, have the best guitar solo we've heard to this point. This is another one that goes out on a fade out as the chorus is sung. Song 10, Beth. This one is a ballad from the band's fourth studio album, Destroyer. Beth is the band's biggest commercial hit in the US, reaching number 7 on the Billboard Hot 100 list. This is one of the few songs sung by drummer Peter Criss. The song was originally written to mock Chris's old bandmate's girlfriend, who constantly called him while the band was trying to practice. This song has over 76 million streams on Spotify. The song opens with a mellow piano part and Peter Criss singing. This song is pretty much just Chris singing in front of a piano and an orchestra. It's a great vehicle for giving the drummer center stage for a few minutes during the show, and that's the way it was used during live shows. It was often performed as just Chris out on a stool with an instrument track playing behind him. The song ends with the instruments cutting out altogether. With that being said, we are done, and I've gone over Kiss's top 10 songs on Spotify. I will say that Kiss is one of those bands that has so much music, it's impossible to cover everything worth covering in this sort of format. The band has 20 studio albums. It's impossible to get everything into it. So I just kind of want to mention some of the songs that I enjoy, that I love, that didn't make the cut. As I mentioned, there was only one Gene song included in this list, which I was bummed about because songs like God of Thunder, War Machine, Deuce, and Unholy weren't included in this. I feel like the best of Paul Stanley, his songs did make it on the list. Another song that I feel like is worth including is Into the Void. That's one of the kind of rare instances of Ace Frehley taking the lead vocals on a song, and I really enjoy that one. With that being said, it's all done but the screaming now, and once again, I need to say thank you for listening to this. Please give me a like and a subscribe if you're on YouTube and you enjoyed, and share with a friend if you're on Spotify. Please once again send any requests or recommendations my way. I'm sure I'll get to it, and thanks again one more time. Bye.